On Friday, December 31st at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am presenting to you the opportunity to win a lot of money. Alabama versus Cincinnati is a game that if you're trying to make money betting on sports, you got to be looking at this. Currently, the line is at 13.5. Alabama's favored. All they have to do is win by 2 touchdowns and they cover. Now, if we take a look at some of Alabama's scores, they're going to cover 13.5 points. They really have one game all season that was within that, or they have a handful of games all season that were within that point range. The game versus Arkansas, they only won by 7. The game versus Auburn, they won in overtime, and the game against Texas A&M, which they lost, and they also struggled against LSU a little bit. Besides that, they're just blowing teams out. They knew after they struggling against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, they come to play Georgia. They know they gotta make it. They gotta win. It's no longer lose and there's a case for us. If we lose, we're done because we just struggled. So what they do, they come out there and they win 41-24. They just blew the brakes off Georgia, the team that's supposed to be the best team in the country by a long shot. They came out, they were, I believe, 6-point underdogs, and they came out and destroyed Georgia. So what do you think they're going to do to Cincinnati? They made Alabama, they put them up to 1 for a reason. They blew out Georgia. They're the best team in the country by far. Alabama knows what they have to do. They dominate every playoff. If you look at some of the past playoffs, some of these matchups, they're always blowouts. You look at Clemson beating Ohio State 31-0. You look at Alabama and all their blowouts. I remember the one year Michigan State got absolutely destroyed. This is what happens. The new team in the playoff, they always get killed. Look at Notre Dame last year. Cincinnati, as much as we all root for them as the underdog and the small school, they made it. Good for them. But there's a reason why it was so hard for them to make it, because they're not as good. These American schools, other non-Power 5 schools, BYU, Coastal Carolina was high in the rankings for a little bit. They're just not as good as these Power 5 guys. The recruits aren't the same. They don't get the same players for a reason. Their facilities aren't the same. They're just not as good. They're not as fast. They're not as strong. There's a reason these SEC teams are above everybody else. And then you take a step down and you got the Big Ten. And you take a step down and you got the Big 12. And then you got the ACC and the Pac-12. And then you got the American. This is the best SEC team versus the best American team. It's not going to be close at all. Alabama is going to blow the brakes off Cincinnati. And honestly, I'd still consider betting on Alabama to cover if the line was 21. But it's at 13.5. That's 2 touchdowns. They just need to win by 14 points. I'm booking it. Come talk to me when it covers, because Bama's going to cover. Bama's going to win. Bama always beats the brakes off someone in the playoffs. This year, unfortunately for Cincinnati, it's them. That's who they're playing, so that's who Bama's going to destroy. So, Alabama 13.5. You heard it here. Go take a look at it. Go bet on it.